I'm here in Boston's North End on a street called Union that is both the birthplace of coffee and the United States of America. It was at this location in 1676 that William Stoughton built the Green Dragon Tavern, a colonial magistrate who, incidentally, hung 14 women in Salem for not living the puritanical life. Known as a public house, the Green Dragon Tavern is quite different from what we would consider a coffee house today. These were bourgeois places where people of different backgrounds could mix together. Well, as long as you were white and of English descent. As gathering places for the community, taverns served many purposes, such as restaurant, inn, courtroom, post office, convenience store, and meeting space. The better ones would even offer a separate parlor for the ladies, to keep them separate from the dirty men. In 1701, the Green Dragon was inherited by Stoughton's niece, Minot Cooper, and then sold to William Douglas in 1743, before finally being sold to the St. Andrew's Lodge of Freemasons in 1766. It was at this point the Green Dragon Tavern became the pit of scum and villainy that would lead to the defeat of King George III and the formation of the United States of America. But what kind of coffee did they drink at the Green Dragon Tavern? Truth be told, coffee wasn't that popular in the British colonies at the time. Depending on who you ask, coffee came to the colonies somewhere around 1640, but there's no actual documentation of its arrival. For the next 130 years, coffee would survive as a footnote in British colonial gastronomy. In those days, rum was the drink of choice. Colonists loved to get drunk and rowdy. If rum wasn't at the ready, beer or hard cider would do. After that, it was tea. During this era, coffee never achieved the importance and status that it did with their colonial masters in London. Instead, it would be used as a refreshment between meals. Much like today, coffee in the colonies was made indifferently. Green coffee imported from Central America was sold by merchants to both households and taverns. It was then roasted by hand over an open fire, either in a pan or in a rounded iron vessel specifically for roasting coffee. After cooling, the roasted coffee would be pounded in a mortar and pestle until it reached the desired fineness. The typical method of brewing coffee would be to boil an ounce of ground coffee in a quart of water and allowing the grounds to settle before pouring into a cup. While British redcoats and colonists loyal to the crown cavorted on the main floor, it was here in the basement of the bourgeois tavern where Freemason Grandmaster John Hancock, Samuel Adams, the Sons of Liberty, Boston's Committee of Correspondence, and the Boston Caucus met, founding the so-called headquarters of the Revolution. Following the Boston Tea Party, tea drinking fell out of vogue in the colonies. Tea drinking was deemed unpatriotic, and the nation shifted its caffeinated delights to coffee, where it asserted itself as the drink of choice in America for over 200 years. And while today coffee remains dominant over tea, recent studies suggest that in the coming years, tea may actually surpass consumption here in the United States. Looks like we're going to need another revolution. This is Rare Coffee.